Cryptocoryne Balansae is an awesome plant, and one of the biggest reasons for that is I typically will use Cryptocoryne spiralis as my background, but it ends up becoming really one-dimensional as a background plant because of the fact that spiralis green is just kind of a green, kind of wavy plant in the background. Balansae brings a whole lot of texture and different color and growing style that will allow to utilize it as a background plant, and that's pretty much where the only place I use it. The difference in texture allows me to contrast with the spiralis green, offsetting and creating depth where there really wasn't before. This plant actually comes out of Thailand, and in the rivers where it normally comes from, they're going to have extremely fast flowing water, high in limestone and calcium content. That's why I recommend this for hard water enthusiasts out there, that their source water is hard water. This is a plant that you definitely want to get. It comes from an area that has extremely hard water, so keep that in mind. The way I utilize adding a little hardness to my water to keep these plants happy, I add a little bit of aragonite and crushed coral to my sumps. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't have a sump and has soft water, you might end up having a little bit of an issue trying to maintain your water quality for this plant to have enough calcium and stuff in the water for it without some kind of unsightly additives. If this is a plant that you wanted to add right out the gate, I would recommend adding a substrate layer underneath your standard substrate to supplement as your source of hardness for your water. There are other additives such as Seachem Equilibrium, Wonder Shell, or even Indian almond leaves that can help with the KH and GH if that's the route that you wish to go. This plant is a bit of a nitrate, phosphate, iron, CO2 monster. It is definitely going to use up a lot of nutrients out of your aquarium. I'm utilizing Easy Green and Easy Iron. They seem to be working fairly well without very much incident. As long as I keep my dosing high enough, everything is generally pretty fine, and I don't have that many concerns. This is a plant that will generally take over the whole entire aquarium and send out runners all over the place. That's how it propagates. It's going to send out little shoots underneath the substrate and send out new babies throughout the aquarium. I would keep in mind that they are going to show up in spots where you just don't want them to be. In the video here, I'm showing you how to remove that plant and trim it and replant it. One of the things that you want to keep in mind when this happens is that you're going to have to trim off the sent root. You know, the root that was sent by the mother plant out there, you're going to have to cut that. You want to be cognizant of where you're cutting that, just past this node right here. Be certain to leave that node with the baby plant, and when you replant it, just stuff it into the substrate. It'll do fine. Generally, I don't see them melt off when this happens. You know, we don't have that typical Cryptocoryne melt back. I have not experienced that with the Balansae that much when trimming them off and replanting them within the same tank. Now, bear in mind, if you do move them to another tank, you do have a chance for them to melt off, although I wouldn't be super concerned about it. Even though this is a plant that will take off and grow all over the tank and do all that kind of stuff, it is kind of a slow grower. It is a creeping intrusion into your aquarium, so you don't have to be like Johnny on the spot every 5 minutes with certain things like micranthomoides, you know, and stuff like that, where it's growing all over the place and you got to get in there and trim it all the time. So it's a great filler plant, but it also does kind of grow sort of slowly. So you do have to kind of balance your expectations as a hobbyist and, you know, kind of temper whatever it is that you're looking for. You will want some decent lights on these crypts, whereas there's not very many crypts that need a whole ton of light. This actually is one of them that does need a good amount of light. I'm utilizing Fluval 3.0 freshen plant lights. I don't know, the namings of these lights seem to get longer and longer with every year. But I'm utilizing the Fluval 3.0 lights. It seems to be plenty sufficient lighting for these. I don't seem to have any kind of lighting deficiency coming from these plants, and they have worked out quite well. As I mentioned before, one of the biggest reasons for utilizing this plant, not only me being a huge collector and constantly buying all of the plants that are different from the other plants that I have, is the fact that it brings a really cool textured leaf. So it is going to give you something to aquascape as compared to the spiralis. Here in Western Washington, where I live, we have quite soft water, so that actually kind of stunts the growth of this plant to not allow it to get completely out of hand. So like my water source is helping me keep this plant sort of in check so that it doesn't grow up and either block out the lights or just completely grow all wild. It is a big help, and I'm just kind of utilizing what I naturally have without going all kinds of crazy. Thanks for watching today. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you enjoy this content, I don't know, check out another video if you like, or if you subscribe if you like. I don't know, all that stuff's free. Hey, if you're thinking, I don't want to do free stuff, I want to contribute, you can. This is the low pressure sale. There's a freaking pandemic going on, so I understand if people aren't doing super well financially. I get it, man. Me too. But you could join up on Patreon, or you can hit that blue join button down there. I know that it costs money, but you gain access to our Discord, which is our 24-hour community that we're able to post pictures and comments and kind of go back and forth. I think it's a value as far as I'm concerned. I love having contact with you guys. And speaking of having contact with you guys, I want to give a big shout out to Barbara Jackson, who has been supporting this channel for a long ass time. She has been supporting this channel, and I want to give a big shout out here at the end of the video to Barbara. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You are a lovely part of the community here, and I hope to have many, many years of contact with you and just continue having a good time building aquariums, fish rooms, aquascapes, and all that stuff. And spider update, have not seen the spider in a little while. Although there is competition for the giant spider, because I saw a different spider, and now there are two. And maybe they're related. I don't know. Maybe they're just friends. Maybe they're in cahoots, thinking about committing crimes together down here in my creepy office. Bye-bye.